Coming up on Business Daily, Nigeria government pegs power sector investment gap at $10 billion. The NNPCL executes gas sale agreement with Dangote Refinery. Plus, Ivory Coast is set to establish $500 million Green Finance Fund. Hello, you're watching Business Daily on LN 24/7. My name is Amaka Daniels. Welcome to the show. We start off in Nigeria, where the federal government says it will collaborate with the private sector in raising a portion of the $10 billion needed to ensure the provision of consistent and reliable electricity across the country. This initiative is part of the government's broader strategy to address the country's chronic power supply challenges and is expected to span a period of 5 to 10 years. Now, this formed the crux of the deliberation when the Director General of the Infrastructure Concession Regulation Committee, Dr. Jobson Ewalefo, when he paid a courtesy visit to the Minister of Power, Adebayo Adelabo, in Abuja. The duo agreed that in view of the funding and technical requirements needed to advance the power sector in Nigeria, it had become imperative to seek private sector input through public-private partnerships in co-financing and providing expertise that will ensure optimal performance of power infrastructure. Now, he also added that additional funding will be required from the 2024 supplementary budget and the 2025 appropriation bill to resolve the financial implications of strategies needed to curb the incessant grid collapse in Nigeria. And in the oil sector, the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Gas Marketing Limited, a subsidiary of the NNPCL, has executed a gas sale and purchase agreement with the Dangote Petroleum Refinery and Petrochemicals Lagos. The agreement, signed by the Managing Director of the NGML, Justin Ezeala, and the Chief Executive Officer of the Dangote Group, Aliko Dangote, at the corporate head office of Dangote in Falomo, Lagos, outlined the supply of natural gas for power generation and feedstock at the refinery. Now, this is in line with President Bola Tinubu's policy of utilizing Nigeria's abundant gas resources towards revamping the nation's industrial growth and kickstarting its economic prosperity. This agreement also represents and presents a milestone for both the NNPC Limited and the Dangote Refinery, aligning with their shared commitment to boosting local production and providing vital products for the benefits of all Nigerians. In a recent report, the Central Bank of Nigeria says over 28 million Nigerians still lack access to formal financial products and services in spite of a reduction in the country's financial exclusion rate to 26% in 2023 from 46.3% in 2010. The CBN, however, said that the ongoing recapitalization exercise will empower banks to take risks in underserved markets and, by extension, enhance financial inclusion in the country. The CBN Governor, Olayemi Cardoso, speaking on the efforts of the Apex Bank to promote financial inclusion, said that the CBN recently introduced new minimum capital requirements for banks. The Deputy Governor, Financial Sector Surveillance of the CBN, Phillips Ikeazo, also highlighted challenges to achieving the 95% financial inclusion goal and measures to address them. He said, and I quote, "Since the launch of the strategy, which is currently in its third iteration, the Central Bank of Nigeria and stakeholders have worked tirelessly to reduce financial exclusion rates. Owing to these efforts, the exclusion rate has dropped from 46.3% in 2010 to 26% as of 2023. Now, moving to the stock market, investors on the Nigerian Exchange Limited gained 96 billion naira at the close of trading on Wednesday, thus reversing the 68 billion naira loss recorded in the previous trading session. Appreciations in share value of International Energy Insurance PLC John Holt and Unicel boosted the market capitalization of the local bourse by 96 billion naira to settle at 59.03 trillion naira. Similarly, the all-share index rose by 0.16% to 97,418 points. Sectoral performance was largely positive as the banking sector, consumer goods and industrial sectors saw increases of 1.38%, 0.38% and 0.01% respectively, while the insurance sector declined by 0.58%. Now, market sentiment remained positive, resulting in 30 stocks advancing while 19 declined. The Kano State Debt Management Office says it has serviced over 63.5 billion naira of both foreign and domestic debts incurred by the former governor Abdullahi Ganduje's led administration. The Director General of the Kano State Debt Management Office, Hamisu Ali, noted that the current administration is focused on servicing existing debts and reducing the state's financial liabilities. He added that in 2024 alone, over 63.5 billion naira has been repaid, bringing Kano State's total debt down to 127.8 billion naira as of June this year.
Let me clearly state that Dr. Abdullahi Umar Ganduje's led APC administration signed a subsidiary loan agreement for the third National Urban Water Sector Reform Project of about 64 million euros with French Development Agency in July 2018. Unfortunately, this is the loan the said DCL Hausa claimed that it was contracted during the current administration. I wonder how 2018 become 2023 or 2024. It is important and worthy to note that in his efforts to reduce the debt burden of our dear state, His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Kano State, Alhaji Abba Kabir Yusuf, had fed an external debts of about 3 billion, 491, 132, and 226,073 kobo. And he also paid a domestic loan outstanding of about 16 million, 888,353.57 billion, totaling about 63 billion, 508,024,580 and 3 kobo for just first and second quarter of 2024. With this development, our overall debt outstanding was drastically reduced to 127 billion, 793 million, 608,048.62 kobo for both domestic and foreign liabilities. Let me clearly state that Dr. Abdullahi Umar Ganduje's led APC administration 8.62 kobo for both domestic and foreign liabilities.
You're still watching Business Daily. Just before we go on the break, Nigerian Customs Service says it has exceeded its revenue target for 2024. Find out more after this break. Welcome back. You're still watching Business Daily on LN 24/7. And the Nigeria Customs Service says it has collected 5.07 trillion naira revenue as of Tuesday, November 12, 2024, exceeding its revenue target for 2024. The Comptroller General of Customs, Adewale Adeniyi, stated that the exceptional performance projected to exceed the service's target by 10% validates their partnership-driven approach to revenue collection and trade facilitation. According to him, the achievement is not merely about numbers, but it demonstrates how enhanced stakeholders' collaboration, improved processes, and modernized systems can deliver tangible results for the nation's economy. He also stressed that the momentum of the NCS's modernization initiatives continues to build and yield immediate benefits for the stakeholders. Now, the Nigerian Port Authority and the General Manager of Health, Safety and Environment at the Port Authority, Abdul Sani, has lauded the APM terminal in Apapa for its safety standards, describing the terminal as a model for other terminals across the country. The port manager of the Lagos Port Complex, Apapa, Adebowale Ibrahim, described the APM terminal as one of Nigeria's safest, best organized terminals ever, as he reflected on the company's impact on national terminal safety. Meanwhile, the Chief Executive Officer at the APM terminal, Keith Svensson, stated that the terminal's commitment to a safe work environment transcends policies. He also emphasized that the safety is integral to the terminal's operation, ensuring employees feel valued and protected. Still in the marine sector, the Chief Executive Officer of Lagos Free Zone, Adesua Ladoja, says the arrival of COSCO, Ocean Network Express and Zim shipping lines is expected to attract more foreign direct investments to the zone. Ladoja disclosed this in Lagos when the management of the Lekki Port Enterprises, Lekki Freeport Terminal and Lagos Free Zone launched the services of 3 additional shipping lines at the port to boost cargo volumes and attract more foreign direct investments to the zone, benefiting the Nigerian economy. Ladoja emphasized that the shipping lines now calling at the port provide more options for customers, giving them access to the state-of-the-art facilities at the Lekki port. Now, this development, she noted, would support the growth of enterprises within the free zone and the broader Lekki economic axis. Still in the marine sector, President Bola Tinubu has signed the instruments of accession for 6 conventional of the International Maritime Organization. Now, this was contained in a statement on Wednesday by the head of public relations at the Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency, Osage Edward, who explained that the action paves the way for Nigeria to officially deposit these instruments of accession at the IMO headquarters, which will serve as a repository for such conventions. The move is expected to enhance Nigeria's maritime governance and align its practices with international standards, promoting maritime safety, security, and environmental protection. Now, while presenting the instruments to the Minister of Marine and Blue Economy, Adeboyega Oyetola, Edwards reassured stakeholders of the President's commitment to developing the Nigerian maritime industry in line with global best practices. He said, by signing these instruments of accession, the President has reaffirmed his administration's determination to take its rightful position among the Committee of Maritime Nations. You're still watching Business Daily, and after this break, we'll have more stories from Africa and the rest of the world. Do stay tuned.
LN 24/7 is first of all a news station.
Well, we continue with updates from the just concluded governorship
in the southeast has raised questions if INEC will be able to conduct elections.
With a core team of over 40 correspondents spread across Nigeria.
Nigeria is set to take its place.
And affiliates in Africa, Europe, America, and Asia. We give you news as it breaks from the perspective you can trust.
I declare the
LN 24/7 News. Where the story goes, we go.
Welcome back from that quick break. Now speaking on bilateral cooperation, the Consul General of India in Lagos, Sri Chandramouli Kiran, says that India is committed to assisting Nigeria in harnessing the potential of its untapped blue economy resources valued at $296 billion. Now Kiran emphasized the economic potentials of Nigeria's coastline, describing it as the new gold for growth and investment. He also noted that despite its vast marine resources, Nigeria's blue economy remains underdeveloped, presenting a significant opportunity for the country's economic growth. Recognizing the expansive coastlines that both countries share, Kiran highlighted India's well-established expertise in fisheries and aquaculture, noting that India is well-positioned to assist Nigeria in building its marine industries through capacity building and knowledge transfer. He proposed that Nigerian officials and the marine industry stakeholders could benefit from training programs offered by India, such as the Indian Technical and Economic Cooperation course, which develops skills in various sectors, including fisheries. And in Africa, Ivory Coast will create a $500 million green finance fund to support sustainable growth initiatives, the International Monetary Fund said in a statement. Now, Ivory Coast's new facility will be established under the African Green Banks Initiative, a platform working to create a $1.5 billion ecosystem of green investment facilities by 2030 on the continent. The facility will be capitalized by public sources such as the Ivory Coast government, the Green Climate Fund, the Global Environment Facility, multilateral development banks, development finance institutions, and potential private sources. The West African nation, which is the world's top cocoa grower, has been drafting new laws to support other green finance initiatives, such as a body to oversee the management of carbon credits. And lastly, on the global scene, oil prices were largely steady on Thursday, with traders holding fire after declines earlier this week on a stronger U.S. dollar and worries about rising supply amid slow demand growth. Brent crude futures were down 3 cents to $72.25 a barrel, while U.S. West Texas Intermediate crude futures were down 7 cents to $68.36 a barrel. Investment analyst Danish Lim said that the primary drivers of oil prices, both in the near term and looking ahead, will be the direction of the United States dollar. Now, the dollar surged to a one-year high on Thursday, extending gains from Wednesday's 7-month high against the major currencies after data showed U.S. inflation in October increased in line with expectations. Now, this in turn stoked worries of slowing demand in the United States. And that's where we draw the curtains today on Business Daily. I hope you've been updated. Don't forget to join the conversation via our social media handles at LN247 across all social media platforms, especially our content hub at www.ln247.news. I am Amaka Daniels. I'll see you next time.